G'day, it's Adam from Birdwood Guitars, and I'm here with you for the Cigar Box Guitar Builder. We've been a little short on in videos lately. There is a reason for that. I've started up a new YouTube channel called the Birdwood Guitars Show, and that's kind of focused a lot on what's happening in the store, the artists, the guitar builders, and the musicians who are coming into the shop. So it's really kind of focused around those people. So if you're interested in kind of checking out what's happening in maybe a different scene than your own, what's kind of going on through COVID, I am kind of doing some impromptu chats about what's happening in the business, how the shop is working, what's working in the shop, what's not working in the shop, so on and so forth. Anyway, on to, so go off and check that if you can, and subscribe, like, do all the dinging and all that sort of stuff if it's something that you're interested in. Thanks. Cool. So on to today's subject. Very, very quick one today. I had an interesting call from a fella today named Darren. Darren was curious about, he's a beginner builder, and he's curious about the length of the neck. He said he's got a very nice piece of jarrah that he wanted to use to build a guitar neck, and he was asking me about how long he feels that the neck should be. Now, if you go back and check out some of our previous videos for the podcast, you'll remember that I was talking about this little length of timber. Okay, now this is a template that I actually came up with, and it's the length that I like to build my necks at. Obviously, there's different types of necks that I do. I do three-piece necks for guitars that, like our Lightning Boy guitar, will have a three-piece neck. This particular one does a couple of jobs. It's really great for pickups that go on top of the box, like the flat wound pickups. It's also great for piezo guitars, and it is still also good, and I do use it for electric guitar pickups as well. But when I build, for example, if I'm doing a piezo guitar, this would be the type of neck that I do. Okay, so just giving you a little bit of an idea of the type of neck that I do. Now you'll notice that it's basically, if you have a little look at that, that's the template. Okay, so I also use this when I'm roughing out and cutting down wider lengths of timber. It means that I can rough cut around the timber, then I can screw this on at the varying points, which also give me indicators as to where I'm going to put tuners, the nut, the 12th fret if I wanted to put that screw in. I usually do if I'm doing it like that. The scale length down here to the bridge, and also end of box, and the 3 holes that I would use for the strings. Obviously, this is for a 3-string guitar, not a 4-string. Okay, so anyway, now when it comes down to the length, regardless of the size of the boxes, and you know that we can find different types of boxes and varying sizes of boxes. Now, sorry, I'm walking away from the screen, but anyway, so obviously you've got boxes such as this, boxes such as this, this. Some are, well, you can see that's not even close to being similar in size. So all these cigar boxes, they're all different sizes, all right? But I still use the same template. Now, I'm not going to tell you what length to make your template. So, Darren, I'm not going to tell you how long to make your neck, but I'm going to give you a bit of a tip. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a second. I'll put this away. All right. So, there is a reason why I'm not going to tell you how long to make your template. Or, if you're not going to make a template, you just want to make the neck, I'm not going to tell you how long to make the neck. Okay? It's going to depend on your scale length. All right, so what that means is how long your strings are going to be running between the nut and here, for example, where you're going to put your bridge. Now on my guitars, I do a scale length of 25.5 inch scale length. Okay, So you can see from there to there. That works out at 650 millimeters, thereabouts, okay? Now, I have a nicer ruler than this, which I use to actually mark out my fret positions. And here's the difference. The difference is when I put a mark here at the base with that little pin there, okay, I can now eyeball it now. So I know this guitar is going to be about here. That's where the box that I'm using for this guitar is going to be. Now, obviously, if I get a shorter box, let's bring these boxes back. Obviously, if I bring a shorter box, not all, and you'll notice, of course, that I've already glued on the fretboard, but, okay, here's one. That's a little long out the back for me, okay? Here's another. Well, that's too short, okay? Whoops. That's really, the Bolivar, perfect. For what I like, that's perfect, okay? So again, looking from the top, that's a great length. So that length that I've got here from the end of the fretboard to where I want the box to finish is perfect. This one, way too short. Way too short. In fact, if I used this box with this length of fretboard, the box would actually have finished there, which is just a bit past where my bridge would have gone. Okay, so what I do, all right. So what I do is when I'm measuring my neck, before I put this fretboard on, cut it to size, cut the fretboard to size, I decide upon which box I'm going to use. I place the box where I want the back of the box to finish, okay? I draw a line here, for example, on my neck. All right, so as we were saying, always know on the back where the scale length is going to fit. And I like mine to be about, if you want to use inches, about 4 inches in from the back of the neck. Or if we say about 9 centimeters from the rear. That's where I like to have the bridge of my guitar. But ultimately, everything will depend on the scale length that you use. Now, I use 25.5-inch scale length, as I mentioned before. Some builders like to use 24 inches. Some people like to do even shorter guitars of 23 inches. Fundamentally, it doesn't make a difference, okay? It's all dependent upon how long you want your scale length to be in relation to the length of the neck and in relation to the size of the box that you want to use, okay? As I said, I don't like using 24-inch scale lengths on cigar box guitars. I like more tension. I like a slightly longer neck. It's comfortable. It's still under 1 meter in length, well under 1 meter in length. It's probably, let's just get this measurement here for the overall length of the wood that I'm using, and it's just shy of 900 millimeters, or let's say 35 inches long. Okay, that's the length that I basically like to do this. But you can use any size box with this particular length. It's all going to depend on the scale length that you want to use. A, size of the box. B, and that'll have a direct relation to how long your fretboard, if you're going to use one, is going to be. As I always like to say, if you're starting out, build a fretless guitar first, all right? Get your head around the scale length. It'll also give you a chance to work on making sure that you've got nice smooth edges, work on your sanding, work on your fretting on the next build, okay? So just take it in small leaps. They're not expensive instruments to make, but I'll say this, they're easy to stuff up. Okay, a fretless guitar is not as easy to. It's it's not as easy to stuff up as a fretted guitar. Okay, obviously a fretted guitar is going to be, there's a lot more skill involved in the working, in the guitar building side of things. Okay, so start slow. It's not a rush. You're not in a rush to do anything too quickly. All right, take your time. You know, it's you know, I'm at a stage now. The reason I use a template, one of the reasons is because, you know, I'm building multiple units all at once. I have a business that relies upon me being able to make, being able to streamline my manufacturing of these instruments. And I'm using that word manufacturing, okay? So if you're a hobby builder and you don't necessarily need to worry about doing multiples, just take your time with it. You know, there's a really, really good video by Justin Johnson. It's a very, very old video of Justin Johnson when he was, I think when he was in New Zealand. Go and check out some of Justin Johnson's really old videos. And there's a wonderful one where he builds a diddley bow, and he actually uses a length of string to work out the fret positions. So he goes halfway, like he gets a length of string, he says, okay, well that's, and he doesn't know the actual scale length because it was just a piece of timber that they found. And he halves it, and he says, right, well, that's my 12th, that's my octave. And then they halved that again, and they found, I think it was the 5th, that might have been the 7th fret. And then they did a third, they did the thirds. So it might have been like the 5th fret and then the 7th fret. But the other way you can do it is once you string it up, you can do it by ear, you can do it by pitch. You can hear it, you say, okay, well, if they're my pitch harmonics, we might talk about that another day. Anyway, I hope that's helped. Darren, get in there, make it. What's the worst case scenario? You make a mistake, you stuff it up, build another one, okay? Get in there and have some fun with it. Been Adam for Burble Guitars, and I've been here with you for the Cigar Box Guitar Builder, and we'll catch you next time. Have fun with it, guys. Bye.